3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. My name is Jake. This is going to be the first Tubbs podcast. I'm here with my co-host Chuck West and our special guest Ernie, the Freight Train Steagall. He's our commissioner's champ right now, and also number 3 on our list. How you doing, Ernie?
I'm doing good, Jake. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Chuck?
Doing good. Pretty day.
Yeah, beautiful day outside. Oh, let's see. We're going to go ahead and get into some news. Right now, the rankings. We have AJ at number 1, Rodney number 2, Ernie, like I said, is number 3.
Freight train.
You got Tanner number 4. Josh Eastham just took care of Russ to keep them in their positions at 5 and 6. And Mike Foster at 7. I think he has a challenge with Kyle Biggs tomorrow. You got Tracy at number 8, Noah at number 9, and myself at number 10.
And some changes.
Yeah, we've had a couple changes. Mike had to drop out. Mike Edwards had to drop out. So, Noah had him in a challenge already, so he took over his spot.
Think he'll be returning?
He says he's going to be able to return by the start of the next month. Not really sure. I hope he gets to come back. I hope he's back before the tournament. That'd be cool. Next little bit would be the challenges we have on the board right now. Noah and Tanner are scheduled for, that's today, I believe, for the number 4 tag. Noah's trying to move up. Let's see, get Kyle Biggs against Mike Foster tomorrow night. Tracy and Ernie, you guys are Tuesday night, right?
Correct, yeah. At
Yeah.
Sahoma.
Sahoma, yeah.
You've been doing quite a few matches at Sahoma, haven't you?
Yeah, they actually dress the lanes fresh for you and everything else before you come in there and bowl the matches.
Really?
And you may have a sports shot or you may have a house shot. You just don't know.
Oh, man. That'd be pretty exciting. Let's see, we got Richard and Matt today. And then Rodney and AJ are going to bowl for the number 1 tag. Not sure when that's going to take place. I need to get with both those guys and try to figure that out because I want to try to get that on film for the YouTube channel. But, yeah. Let's see, point standing right now. So we have Alex and Rodney, number 1 with 13 points each. Matt Davis, number 2. Richard Parkins, Mike Foster, and Chad Leonard round out the top 5. Getting pretty close to the end of the month. Guys are going to be trying to challenge as much as possible to try to get in there, So hopefully, I'd say it'd probably be shook up before the end of next week.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, there's going to be, there's a lot of aggression at the end of the month.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, especially when it comes to the rules and everybody's being anal about it, basically. Oh, no, this guy can't do this. Oh, no, that guy can't do that. That kind of thing. Kind of drives me nuts a little bit.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be, it is competitive, but it's supposed to be a fun as well. We're not talking do or die situations here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I pointed out on the commentary, too, how I just like, it's not even necessarily people are wanting to be in the top 10. They're wanting to bowl against each other and have fun and compete.
Yeah, there's several guys that have the 2 wins to challenge into the top 10, and they're still challenging other guys, too.
Yeah, I just got 2
points.
wins myself.
Points, basically, is where it's at. Speaking of that, let's go on to our next bit of news. These are the unranked guys that can challenge up. Some of them have still been challenging down, but, like I said, it's probably a points thing, so they can climb the rankings in the points. Kyle Biggs has a match with Mike Foster. He's already taken advantage of that 2-win rule. Oh, and another thing, too, on the rules for next month, we're looking at changing it to where you have to have 2 consecutive wins. That way, it won't bottleneck as bad, and it makes it more, more prestigious, I guess you could say, to be in the top 10. It makes it harder to get into the top 10. So look for that. I did do some rule changing. I'll post that later on this week, along with the team format, which we'll talk about here in a second. So some of the new guys actually are out on this list. You got Thomas Markley, Michael David Jr. and Jeffrey Bell. Those 3 guys are new this month. Lance is new. Cody, well, actually, the whole list is pretty much new, which is good to see. It's good to see those new guys up there trying to take advantage of it. Guys, don't forget about our tournament, August 29th. It's a winner-take-all, 1K. What we're going to do is we're going to have a 3-game scratch qualifier. We're going to take the top 16 from that, put them in a bracket. It's going to be best 2 or 3 games like our challenges are. And we can just see who's the best in town. Well, in the club, sorry.
At least best for that day.
Yeah, best for that day. We are going to put a sport shot. I don't know if it's going to be a challenge shot or a sport shot, but I will announce that the Friday night before. We're still trying to decide on which shot to actually go with. We have a couple in mind, I think.
Yeah, maybe it should just be a big surprise. Just come out, throw some practice balls, and adjust.
I'm sure all the guys would love that.
Hey, go watch the Brad and Kyle interview on talking about when they go out and try to check what kind of shot they're going to be bowling on.
Yeah. Little technical difficulties. There we go. How's everybody doing?
Perfect.
Can't complain at all. Life is good.
So we was talking about this team format. We have a lot of guys that are wanting to join in next month. And we're actually pushing 40 for the next month. So what we decided to do is break it into 2 teams. So we've decided that we're going to take the committee members, Ernie and Tanner Simmons, and we're going to make a team blue and a team black. Basically, that's our colors of the club. Turn them into teams. We're going to have a top 10 list for each team. We will hold a draft. I believe we were going to do it after the tournament.
That's what we
if
were
that's still the plan.
Yeah.
And we're going to draft everybody out. The first draft we'll draft everybody, but we're going to take the top 10 and draft them into 2 top 5 lists.
Correct.
From then, we're just going to take everybody else and we're going to let you guys go with it based off of performance and character, attitude, and we're going to just keep going until we run out of people that's on the list. And so some of you guys that are unranked right now will actually start out next month with a ranking, which is pretty exciting.
Hopefully it's going to help with some of the bottlenecking, too.
Yeah, because we have a lot of that right now. Having a big issue with, somebody's done bowling. As soon as they get done bowling, they're not even able to put up their stuff before somebody else challenges them right off the bat.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's why I was joking. We need to have an app, just Tubbs app for, immediately once the game is over, you challenge somebody high up.
Well, maybe we can look into that, Chuck.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, we've got a podcast going. That's crazy to me. I mean, this has been going full months. We started in June, so this will be the third month.
Yeah.
We're going through, and we're already up to almost 40 members, 2 lists, podcast, filming matches for the YouTube channel, the whole bit, man.
Going live all the time.
Going live all the time. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy to me that this little idea that I had has just blown up as much as it has.
I think it shows, too, the craving that a lot of people have to have competition. I mean,
oh yeah,
there's league, and then this is more kind of a cutthroat. Let's shoe up and let's go.
Yeah. This is no handicap. There's no teams. It's you and the person you're bowling against. Nobody else. It's not even like leagues and stuff. It's series wise. You got to watch your series and stuff like that. This is the game you're on is the game you're on. If you lose that first game, you can still come back and win it. I mean,
exactly.
Just shrug it off and start over.
You got to put it in the past and, okay, this is new. It's time for him to do it again.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the score as long as you win by a pin.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll have the draft on the 29th. I will be working on a list of bowlers this week. I got probably 3 or 4 guys that are joining on the next month. So we'll have some new faces. If you are not planning to bowl with us next month, you need to let me know as soon as possible. I don't want to put you on this list for this draft if you're not going to be in the club next month.
I mentioned it to Josh, my nephew. So I'm going to work on him.
Yeah.
I mean, because $20 a month, and,
An incredible left-handed bowler,
yeah.
smooth.
The thing that's appealing to that, you don't have to worry about sanctioning.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, hopefully I can bring him back.
Yeah, that's another thing I like about this club is it's it's no sanction. There's no extra paperwork. There's nothing like that. It's just get out there and bowl.
It's literally underground.
Yeah,
And if he does his matches here, because me and his brother work here, yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
I got to get him in it.
oh, my mind just went blank.
Sorry.
No.
Well, I see there's no ceiling on it. I mean,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the more this gets out, the more people see things going on, and you get questions about, hey, what's that tag about? Things like, oh, okay, let me explain it to you. And then it's like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I haven't heard anybody say, oh, that sounds terrible. They
Or-
all like the idea.
I've actually started getting quotes for shirts too. Get some T-shirts, T-shirts and polos. I'd like to have some polos with
Yeah.
the logo on the left chest.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty slick.
Well, yeah, I remember we started this, you were going to limit it to 20, now we're almost 40.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
We've talked about the idea of even throwing around having tournament teams where we actually go bowl tournaments as a
yeah,
Tubbs team 1, Tubbs team 2, or something like that.
yeah. That'd be
I do
pretty
like
neat.
that, yeah.
That's when I would love to have shirts, matching
Yep.
shirts. Everybody can win there together.
Noah really brought that up. I thought that was an outstanding idea.
Yeah.
Talk to Mike.
Well, the only thing is with that though is most of these guys already have a tournament team or
This is
tournament
true.
groups.
Right.
I know of at least 3 or 4 different groups within our club
Yeah.
that goes to tournaments and stuff together. Now,
And we're definitely not trying to spoil or throw a monkey wrench in any of that.
No,
by
no, no.
means.
I think out of the 40, you could find 5 or 6.
yeah, oh yeah.
And
Especially
plus when we start going, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jake.
no, especially for like GTO, the ones that are in town, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
would be pretty cool.
And even when you go up to Miami or Joplin or you're going to go to Fort Smith and bowl one of their deals, you wear like a Tubbs shirt. Man, I've heard something about that or something
Yeah.
like that because it's just going to bring it Dallas area. I know bowlers in Dallas area have heard about it.
I've heard from someone that works here that they've word's been getting up to Kansas even.
I can believe it. Like I
That's-
said, I've talked to friends in Chicago of mine, and they're like, man, what's that belt about? And I told them, like, man, that's pretty cool.
What, Kaysen spread it around or something?
Probably. Knowing him, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Another thing too, if you'd like to check out our YouTube page, we're going to start trying to put as many matches as I can on there. Like I said, I work 2 jobs. It's hard for me to get out there to film them, but I will try to get out there and film them. I haven't been doing a very good job of that lately, but
And plus others that are, if we're filming our matches, we can actually send the film to you to just to put it
yeah,
on there.
we can, yeah.
So,
Facebook Live is always a good one.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of matches on Facebook Live. I'd like to get more on the YouTube channel because the YouTube channel can be seen by anybody.
Yep.
The Facebook page is kind of you have to be accepted into it stuff, which I'm accepting anybody that wants to be on there. I should have made it a public page when I first started, but like I said, this was going to stick to 20 guys, and we recently this month decided to open it up. So,
Right.
and apparently on Facebook you can't go back and reopen or go back and remake it a public page. Once it's private, it's private.
I think there is a way, but you have to request permission, and it has to go through approval process and all kinds of stuff.
think so.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a lot of work.
So be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube page.
Yeah. Our commissioner's champ match, shoot, we had 100 views in like 2 days.
Yeah,
that's-
I was surprised. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's pretty good for us. I mean, going from almost nothing to that's pretty exciting.
Mhm.
We did a lot of sharing.
Yeah.
That's always key to getting it out there.
Yeah. I'm going to put up the information one more time for our tournament. Give me 1 second. Ultimate Challenge. It's going to be on the 29th of August. It was on the 15th. I had to move it because Planet Doubles was taking too many people away from it. So we are doing that. If you want to talk a little more about the format, Chuck, for a second?
For the tournament? Yeah, it is basically bowl 3 games, and we're going to be having side pots, scratch pots, Kegler's Cash, brackets, and for the qualifying. And then we take, I believe, what was it, Ernie? Do you remember there?
Well, the top 16.
Top 16, yes.
yeah.
And then it's best 2 out of 3.
Just like our challenge matches.
And you can challenge within the tournament.
Yeah, all tags will be on the line. if you're unranked, it's still going to be for points. So, I mean, there's a good shot to get quite a bit of points right there at the end of the month. I'm hoping a lot of our guys will come out for that, just for that. I mean, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Like I said, there'll be all, like you said, side pots, brackets, things like that that are going on. The main thing is, you just come out, just bring your game, and let's see where the chips lie.
Yeah, yeah.
And have fun.
Best of the day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, we will be running side pots too.
Yeah, brackets.
Bracket, Survivor, and a high game scratch pot. I'm going to try to run all three for
we
the
do
qualifying.
keglers.
Yeah, yeah, they'll have keglers offered at the front counter. That's not one I'm going to be running, but
Right.
That's one
we wanna
they can run it. Yeah,
give as much as possible to
Yeah.
everybody to try to win and win money.
yeah. With it, winner take all. I did the winner take all because it's something that nobody really does around here. Everything's always, well, we're paying out this ratio for this many spots, depending on how many people we have. I just wanted to be, I want the best, best of the best out here. It's going to be more stressful if it's a one payout thing.
Oh, yeah.
But we also wanted to provide a way for guys that wants to make money that doesn't, if you don't feel like you're going to make it to the top, but you still want to do the tournament or, that kind of thing, give a extra chance for revenue. That kind of-
Fuel for the fire.
Yeah, yeah. Make it more appealing to everybody else. So, how's your reign of commissioner's champ been so far?
Oh, I get a lot of comments about it and stuff, and people are thinking, they really think the belt's pretty cool looking. And normally I wear it whenever I usually go to a bowling center. I said, if I have it with me, which unfortunately some nights I got to go straight from work there, and I don't have a chance to have the belt with me. But that being said, it's how do I get that belt, or what's something like? Well, it's up to the commissioner. It's his belt. He makes the challenges. You beat me. If he puts you in there, then you get the belt. If you lose, I keep the belt.
Yeah, which I gotta discuss that because Mike had to drop out again, and he was going to be the next
Right.
contender. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that.
That was a killer match, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You and AJ.
Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
AJ and I. We definitely, unfortunately, AJ's a Green Bay Packer fan, and everybody knows I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so that kind of adds a little more
Ugh.
fuel to it. And when I flagged that 10 pin, and I looked at the score, and I was like, oh my God! I said, if he nails the first one, we're going to a third game. And then when he got the second one, I was already okay. Let's get ready for the third game. But I got lucked out and still won by the pin. So, but it's always 10. And any bowlers we have in this, it's tough. There's no usual walkthroughs. You've got to earn it. I mean, and all it takes
Oh,
is
yeah.
one missed spare or a bad break, as we all know that we've bowled long enough that we all got them. But that's what gets when you go up there. It's like, okay, I've got to strike, and you can feel the pressure and stuff. Then you got to kind of calm yourself and make that shot.
Yeah.
Then when you do, it's like, man, all right. I did everything I could. Now it's up to him or her, whichever the case may be, and then you just do what you can do.
Another good match we had this week was Rodney Z and Mike Edwards.
Yeah.
Those are two heavyweights of the club. I see them as heavyweights of the club. Put on a pretty good match. I think Rodney took him in two,
Yeah.
which is surprising because Mike was undefeated. He was 5 or 6-0 before that match.
And that may have been
So-
also because, like I said, he's battling
Yeah.
those injuries, and we all know if you're injured, it's kind of tough to give your A game all the time. It's
Yeah.
just-
Oh yeah, yeah.
and Rodney, you give Rodney, like any bowler, any guy, us three right here, you give either one of us a break, and we're going to try to take advantage of that break. I mean, it just is what it is. So
Yeah.
I feel bad for if I'm bowling somebody to have a bad break, but at the same time, my job is to go up there and take advantage of that bad break.
Mm-hmm. It's the way I've noticed some guys are doing that with like the challenges. Well, this guy's not going to be available, so I'm going to challenge him. I don't know how I really feel about that.
Yeah, I'm not for that.
Yeah. No.
It's one thing if so. We've been dealing with this issue of some people get extensions, some people don't on their 5-day thing. What we do is if you cannot make it in that 5 days, we would take it to the committee, and we will decide whether your reasoning is worth giving the extension. Now,
Right.
injuries or if a guy's out of town and another guy challenges him blatantly knowing he's going to be out of town, that's one thing. But,
And that's
some-
the thing too. For example, we've got from the 5th through the 12th coming up here in September. I'm going to be on vacation. and I'm going to be at Myrtle Beach. So, I mean, I won't even be here. So no matter what placement, if Tracy gets me this week and I can't remount, whatever the case is, I would literally, and we're not the kind of people that's going to be like, oh, that's just not, no, forget it. It's, come on. If you're not in here, if you're injured or something happens at work and you get injured or sick, I mean, we are understanding. It's not a problem.
This is a continuing thing. It's not like a league where it's one night a week for so many weeks and then it's over.
Yes.
This is a continuing thing. So we'll be understanding on if you can make it, if you can't make it, if you're on vacation, that sort of thing.
Right.
But don't just try to take advantage of somebody just because they're going on vacation or they're hurt or something like that. Mike was out for about a week. Nobody challenged him. I was kind of surprised that no one tried.
Right.
But no one challenged him. So I mean, if a guy's not in fighting shape, basically,
right.
Come on, guys, be respectful. We don't like to handle the non-sportsman like stuff around
And plus,
here.
if there's a track record going on, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is there a thing for, Mike just basically kind of retired temporarily, or, if you're injured, just the type of thing where you say accepting no challenges because you're injured, or?
So it depends on the injury. Like if you think you pulled something, you're going to be out a couple days, that's one thing.
Right.
If you're going to be hurt for a while, or broke a hand or foot, or something like that, I'm going to have to ask you to step down, especially if you're ranked. We don't want to hold up any spots for anybody else or take away opportunities for someone who's good to go for someone that's not good to go.
right.
That's mainly more of an issue when it's the top 10.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah. And also, too, depending on what time of the month it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, end of the month, everybody's scrambling to get in the positions to get payouts. Everybody's trying to make money in this. That's the reason for it. There's, competition too, but another, one of the main reasons is there's money involved. So when it comes to the end of the month, you got 3 days left in the month, and someone wants to challenge you, and we're like, oh well, I'm hurt, I can't do it. Sorry, you're probably going to lose your spot, just because it's the end of the month. It's just case by case, basically.
That's just part of the cruel rule.
Yeah. In sports, any kind of sports, you're hurt, you're out.
But we also know a lot of people, they'll play through the injury.
Yeah.
And if it's literally, and I kind of look at this, and I know Chuck would probably agree with me because we both done it. And Jake, I know you have because I bowl with you, and I can see some of the injuries you go through. I hate to say it, but I don't care who you are, we all have an ego.
Yeah.
And if you want to go out there and you're going to challenge, you know what? Unless I physically can't walk or bend over or throw a bowling ball, I'm still going to come out there and I'm still going to give it. And I may not have my A game that day. It is what it is.
There was the state tournament a couple years ago. I got two discs in my lower back that are pretty much disintegrated, right? So I was dealing with pinched nerve. I couldn't bend down, nothing. I threw a 13 or 14 pound ball standing straight up and just like launching it because I couldn't bend down enough to release the ball right. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I still did it. I paid for the tournament. I'm going to go to the tournament,
Right. And plus it's a deal too. We all know if our body's being we know that if we do something and it's really going to hurt us, then all of us are going to understand. If you take a chance, you could really dislocate something in your back or something like that. Well, that's a whole different story. But if it's, like I said, there's injuries and then there's pain.
Yeah, this isn't anybody's day job, so you kind of have to watch yourself so you don't get hurt, so you can't work. That's
Exactly
a big deal. Can't work, can't pay your bills. That's life.
That's a fact.
Also, too, speaking of payouts, the next month I have all this on slides. I will put it up on the page shortly after this with the team format and everything. But payouts are going to change next month again. This month we're doing top 5 and then points. Next month we'll do top 3 in points because we're going to have 2 top 3 lists.
Right.
Basically. So basically we're paying out 1 extra spot, but it's going to be not as far down the list, if that makes sense to everybody. We're doing it that way to make it fair for both lists, both teams. When we decide on a team versus team competition, we will let everybody know. We're just going to pick a night, and then whoever can show up, and we'll make matches out of that. Both managers will have to agree on the matches that I put together, and we'll just tally up points at the end of it and see which team comes out on top. We're working on some new belts. We're going to have a championship belt for each team. We're going to keep the commissioner's belt going. And then we got one other that I'm going to keep under wraps for right now. I got it ordered. I got it designed and ordered. And
You're gonna like it.
oh yeah.
Secret.
We'll discuss that more in the coming weeks. Should be shipping within the next week or so. So a couple weeks down the road, we'll discuss that a little bit more, and let everybody know what's going on with that. Basically, another side thing like the commissioner's belt is. We'll have stipulations and everything else to be able to challenge for it and that kind of thing. But we'll keep that under wraps. Some of you guys already know because I can't keep my mouth shut. I get too excited about this stuff, man.
I can tell.
I've taken this idea and I just ran with it. It's crazy to think that it's at what it is right now, you know. So
I think it's actually very impressive.
Thanks to you for getting it started.
I appreciate that, Chuck. So how long have you been bowling, Ernie?
I actually started, believe it or not, and people have asked me this before, and they're kind of shocked. I didn't start bowling until I was in my 30s.
Really?
I was working at Firestone at the time, and Brenda Sealer, who used to own AMF Sheridan Lanes, came up to the Firestone, and they wanted to do a tire and service league. Okay, I mean, I'd bowled when I was a kid, so just playing around. So, you know, I was like, yeah, let's put a teenager. So just auto places against each other. And I went down to the old Kmart, bought my Galaxy 300 ball, and had it drilled where the holes were, 5,000 times too big. And I started bowling that, and I was like, man, this is pretty cool. And I started watching some shows on TV, and I started watching this. Well, I watched, at first was Amleto Monticelli. I watched how he could hook a bowling ball. And then I started watching a little more bowlers and stuff like that. And then there was a guy that came along that, in my opinion, just blew me away, and that was Steve Hoskins. Huge fan of Steve Hoskins. And he was throwing track equipment, the Triton Heat and all this stuff. And then I went crazy. I started getting a lot more serious about it. I only started throwing track equipment. Really, I would sit there, and I'm not joking, I would sit there on my couch at night for hours with my right hand with a 16-pound bowling ball, constantly flexing my wrist up and down to build my wrist up. Then I went to my forearm. Then it was all, how can I hook a bowling ball? How can I make this ball really hook? And then it was, how quick can I get revolutions? And that's what started me really trying to get to where actually it became a detriment, because resin actually became the evil to me because of how much it would hook. And then I'm out here one day and I'm watching the Cunningham brothers. If everybody knows them, well, they're throwing this. I'm throwing a sumo, which was an old urethane ball. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching these guys throw this purple-looking ball down the lane. I'm just watching this thing snap on the back end. I was like, what in the world is that? Well, come to find out, that was my introduction to resin, because it was the Excalibur. And I was like, what? Oh, it's a reactive resin ball. And so then everything, just one story led to the other. But that started, and then I wanted to get competitive, and then it was more and more. Then I actually had my card for a while, Southwest Touring, PBA, and all that, and doing tournaments like that. But it really let me down a road that I've enjoyed, because bowling was something where I could really have that competitive thing, and I always like to have anyway, to where you're driven. But at the same time, when you're doing it, and then Chuck and I, first time I ever bowled Chuck, I'm watching this guy bowl, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to smoke his ass. I mean, this guy, he's got a Cobra wrist device on, throwing it conventional, straight up the boards, and I'm like, oh, he's going to be easy. So I bowled him that league night, and he ends up just thumping me into oblivion. I'm like, and he wouldn't talk. Everybody knows how Chuck is. Sometimes you get to know him. And then we became best friends. I mean, but it was like, and he's been such a guiding principle on me about, trying to keep my head straight about, look, maybe this isn't what you should be throwing, and that kind of a deal. To where now, after all these years, I've actually, as thick as a brick, to where the urethane has come back into my game, to where I've actually learned how to work with it for the most part. And I've got nothing against people that throw resin. I don't care if you want to throw the old Proactive balls. It doesn't matter to me. But doing that, and, it's all about the game that you have, that what you excel in. Chuck is straight. Yours is speed. Mine is with urethane equipment, putting the hand like I've got in it, not having all that speed. You know, and I don't care who you are, the two-handers. I mean, whatever's going to help you score is it. And then once that became then the competitive bowling, that's where it really drove me to where I still do it today. So, I mean, but yeah, I was in my 30s.
Wow. Yeah, watching you bowl, it's impressive because it doesn't look like you're putting much effort into putting hand into it, but
Yeah.
you're putting a lot of hand into it, and it's crazy. Like, it's so smooth coming off your hand and everything, and it just kind of floors me that you get as much on it as you do, you know.
Well, that's what I said. Everybody who used to see me throw resin, I mean, they would see me. I was always starting left to 20 to 25, no matter what. And usually by the end of every league night, I'm over the gutter cap, launching the ball over the gutter cap. Yeah, it's impressive when it's working right. I mean, I've had times with resin, I've averaged 230 with resin. But those are so few and far between that I could never play the track area. I couldn't play where other bowlers were playing until I started going back to urethane. And that's why, you know, I have discussions now with guys about the new urethane compared to like the older stuff that I throw. I have a hard time accepting that this new urethane is truly urethane. I still think there's something in there because when I throw one of the newer urethane balls, I still get a little extra snap. It's a little extra pop. I got to move left to throw it. Fresh cover, yeah, I guess it's possible, but I still think there's just a tad bit extra in some of the urethane covers.
That's like when they have a ball come out and it's really popular, and then a few years later down the road, they bring out they say they bring it back and everything else. Well, it's not
Correct.
the same. It's never
Right.
the same. They always trying to put their new technology into it, which is fine. I mean, that's great for the sport and everything. But some of those older balls, it's like, I like the way it was set up. That's the one I want to use. And so when they start changing, even the little minor changes they make in them, it's
Oh, yeah.
You can tell a difference.
And like I said, I can admit that one of my biggest obstacles when I got to judge a ball movement way down the lane and the way that when I throw a resin, how hard it will react on the back of the lane, I have trouble reading that. So if I can get that ball to read up here, then I can just alter my wrist just a little bit. I can pop it harder. I can just let off a little bit. I can shift on the side a little bit. And then I can start making the urethane do more what I want it to do. And that's what Chuck brought up. Very good point was about that. These three-piece urethanes are what I'm putting into that. The weight block, there is no weight block. It's just a urethane cover. So what that ball's doing on the lane is what I'm impacting that ball to do. Do I want it to hit harder? Do I want it to snap harder? Do I want it to read earlier? It's all what I'm going to do with my wrist to make that happen, which I know bowlers with resin use different wrist positions as well. But the reading is always down the lane. And that's, I think, was always one of my biggest struggles was getting that adjustment down the lane because no matter what I did, it would just snap harder or harder or harder, or I would just kill it completely, and then it was nothing. It was terrible. So that's why when I can read it up here, that's what really helps me when I'm bowling.
Shoot, I don't even look at where I'm throwing the ball or nothing. It's all feeling.
If you went to the IRTC, the coach down there would not like to hear that answer. Trust me.
Yeah.
A lot of them, when people are bowling, a lot of it is feel. And, you know, I think your game's a lot like mine and or a lot like that. And even my game, I feel, is you just got that feel. That's whenever you're really going to bowl a lot better. Sometimes you just, from the beginning of practice, you know it's probably not going to be a good night. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what it is with you. Patrick Fontana, he's kind of the same way. So, except he's kind of got more of a classic game, unlike maybe any of us. But, yeah.
That's why when I was coaching high school for a few years after I graduated, and it was hard for me because I don't know. It's hard for me to put into words what I do when I'm on the lanes. My adjustments, you know, stuff like that. It's hard for me to put into words because I just do it. I don't think about it. I just do it.
That's actually a blessing in a way. Yeah. When you think, you stink.
Yeah. There'd be times where I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I need to do this, I need that, and I'm like, no, just calm down, take a step back, breathe, and just go up there and throw the ball.
Yep.
And that's helped, a lot in the past, for me anyway. So
It's like with me whenever I'm watching somebody bowl, I can completely see what they're doing wrong. I just can't put it into words what they're doing wrong, really. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you just know that you can tell that's not going to be a good shot from whenever they, you know, take their first two steps. So, but you know, that's where there's, you know, better coaches than maybe me, you know, like Steel Smith or someone like that. But yeah, I mean, that's being able to read the lanes and then, you know, and see somebody's game, you know, and that's the thing. Like with Ernie, I watched him, and I think probably about 95, 96 is when how long we've been bowling together, and so it kind of, he trusts me, and then I trust him. He's actually the only person I ever listen to, so I'm real stubborn.
Because there's a real odd thing. Everybody who's seen Chuck bowl and knows Chuck, I actually will adjust off of his ball when it starts to roll up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When it starts to rev a little bit, I can make adjustments with my game because of what his ball is doing.
Oh, that's what makes a good doubles.
Exactly.
If you can play off of each other and make your game better by watching each other, that's where it's at.
It worked. We won city doubles in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Nice.
So the fans will know out there. So tell us your high series and game. Ernie?
Well, obviously 300.
How many?
Well, if you consider all of them, non-sanctioned including, I've had 11.
Okay.
801 is my high series, and that was thrown with urethane, which it was one of those nights where, as every bowler wants, I felt like I had the world. If I missed right, it was striking. If I tugged, it was striking. Obviously, if I threw good, I didn't have to worry about the 8s and the 9 pins hanging
Wasn't it
there.
with the turbo?
That was with a black turbo, yes. And that was an impressive deal. Like I said, when I shot my first 300, I was bowling oil cap, I was throwing a white XS, which that was resin. And every time I shoot a 300, it's the 10th ball. For some reason, the 10th ball is the one that I get the most concerned about. And I went Brooklyn. And I struck. Okay, 11th and 12th, I flushed them. Not a problem, just pure. But every single 300 I've ever had, it was that. It's a 10th ball. And when I was shooting the 8 out here, I knew it was getting real close. And I'm one of those bowlers who I don't want to know this. I don't like to look at the scores. I don't like to know what I could shoot. Obviously, if you're striking, you know you got a 300 coming. But I knew that the 800 was possible. But I quit looking at the scoreboard. Just went up, just kept making my shots. And then I got done, and I did it, because that was one of my biggest goals, because I've seen Chuck shoot quite a few 8s, and he makes them look effortless as well. But at the same time, I always thought, okay, I've got the 3, and, everybody asks, what do you think's better, a 300 or an 800? That's a tough one, because I think the 800 is definitely tougher because of the games you got to put together. But in the mind, we all want to have those moments of perfection. And when you can shoot a 300 and every single ball is in the pocket and you shot a 300, to me, it's almost euphoria, because, it's like, okay, this is why I continue to bowl. And I think we've all had a 300 it's like, man, it. You've cured it, every single ball. And Paul Weed always said you had to have 2 breaks to shoot a 300. And every 300 I've shot, I've had 2 breaks.
See, I'm leaning more towards the 800 because, yeah, you can shoot 300 and it's great, but then you got 2 more games.
Yep.
To deal with if you shoot the first game or
Oh yeah.
So
because your adrenaline's going.
Yeah, and it's hard. I don't care who you are. It is hard to come back on that next game after your 300 game.
I mean, even when I would do like some of the pro-ams, I'd be talking to Pete Weber and Amleto and Randy Peterson, and I would ask them that very question, and they all said the same thing. They go, "Man, if I had to shoot a 300, I want it to be the last game."
Yeah.
I don't, because usually I'll shoot 300. If I'm lucky, I'll break 200 the next game, because you're even on as many as they've had. The adrenaline's going, and even after I've shot mine, it's like, okay. Then you got to get back into gear mode, because I got another game to do to help the team on league.
You get in that relaxed state, and then you
Yep.
your body starts loosening up, and you don't hit your mark, or
Exactly.
You're like, well, it's okay. I just shot 300. It's fine. I'm just going to shoot 150 this game. No problem.
And I've been there.
Oh, so have I. Yeah.
Well, I had a tournament once that Ernie saw it. It was my first sanctioned 300 in Bartlesville, and I would have won that tournament if I wouldn't have shot 300.
Wow.
Because it was an 8-game sweeper. In the 6th game, I shoot 300, and then 180 the next 2 games. Partly, I think, because they had me fill out all the paperwork for it at that time.
Oh,
but I mean,
yeah.
that took a lot out of me.
I subbed with the Masters League with Kyle Biggs a few years back, and I'm not really known in Tulsa too much for bowling, so they were like, "Oh, who's this kid?" First game I shoot 220, and they're like, "Okay, he's all right." I shoot 300 second game, and they were like, "Who is this kid? Who is this kid?" When I shoot 156, they're like, "Oh yeah, okay. there it is, there it is, yeah."
He's back to reality.
So yeah.
It's crazy though, yeah. Because I mean, everybody knows, man. I don't care who you are, because everybody I talk to, you start getting the butterflies. Your palms get a little sweatier because you know, man, look, I've got a really good shot. I can shoot 300 this game.
Yeah.
And when you buried 270 or 280 games first and second game, you know the 800 is possible too. So then you start, everything gets going.
Start adding up, and
Yeah.
that's the worst thing you could do in a game is try to add up what you could shoot or what you think you're going to get at.
Yeah, it literally needs to be one ball at a time.
Yeah, don't even think about it. Here's a good question for you, Chuck, since you're our history buff. How many 900 games have been shot at ANB? Or has there ever been a 900 series shot at ANBs?
There's not been one shot in Oklahoma.
Oh, well, there you go.
I think the state record, Thomas Patterson, I think it's 878.
Oh, wow.
878 or 879. But yeah, no one's really come close. I think, and I remember hearing on that he had, I think it was like the front 23 or front 22, something like that. And then I think it was 300, 270, 300, something like that. I don't know. I might be wrong on that. And I know Earl Hearn and Bob Matheny were close. Pat Stennett was close. They were in the 850s. And then I think, what's his name? I can't remember that name. There's someone else that's also shot in the 870s in Oklahoma City. Somebody said his name. I know it, but I can't remember it right now. So far, no.
Wow.
Not Pete, is it?
No.
Okay.
It was, I bowled with him before. I think you bowled with him in that one tournament you did real well in that double elimination.
Oh, in
I just
Edmond?
can't remember. I can't remember the name.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think it's 878. As far as that, I know that's a city record for sure.
So how many leagues are you doing this fall?
I'm actually, right now, I'm set up to do the Sunday night challenge league that we're going to be having out here.
And
which I
we're
think
looking for more bowlers.
September 13th, and the Friday night league and an occasional colorama.
You're not going to bowl Thursdays this year?
No, I don't think so. When I get, that's going to be enough for me.
Yeah, I got 2 going, and that's too much.
I mean, some of us are bowling 5.
No, it was 4 last year, and with this Sunday Sport League,
He's
it's
got
only gonna be
to
an
step up his
hour.
numbers.
Yeah.
Well,
He's got to pump up the numbers. You know what I mean?
As long as my back holds up, I'll bowl all the time. So I don't,
I could barely make it through 2 nights a week. Well, I don't know how I'm going to do competition for this on
Well,
top of two.
and that's a good point, because I mean, this too, because you figure, like in my situation, with being at the shop and stuff, I've got to sometimes just leave. Like when I go to the Sahoma, I mean, I'm literally just leaving uniform and I'm heading straight there to bowl, just because it is what it is. I mean, that's all I have to do. Besides the other, we all have things we got to do during the week anyway. So between workout schedules or things that's going on with family and then bowling,
Yeah.
you just kind of got to work everything in.
well, it helps me me especially when everything pretty much around me is bowling. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we
I
work.
go from, work to bowl. Well, that's about, 40, 50 feet, so.
Yeah, it makes it easier when you're working at the bowling alley too.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I would like to thank Andy Bees for letting us do this here. Ryland has been good with us on this club thing.
Definitely.
He's been very supportive. And I also like to thank you and your automotive shop for sponsoring
You're
one
welcome.
of our titles, the to be determined title that I'm not going to talk about, except that I'm talking about it.
Yeah, we'll find that out down the road.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want to throw a shout out, like I said again, in Sahoma, because they really, when you go over there, I mean, you're getting a fresh shot. I
Yeah.
mean, when Josh and I bowled over there, everybody who's bowled Sahoma knows there's usually that free hook area. So in practice, I throw that ball to the right, and it goes 60 feet, and it barely moves. I was like, And I look up at the desk, and there's a couple people up there with a little grin on their face, and I'm like, okay. So I move to the right, and I'm like, this is a sport shot. And come to find out, they put the shark pattern down.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't know till we were done.
Oh, my God.
And then when I bowled out to this past week,
Okay.
through the first one, thinking there may be a sport shot down. Well, no, it hooks towards a 7-pin. I was like, uh-oh, we got a house shot again. So now it's adjusting off of that.
Makes it a little more exciting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I look over at the guys like, no sport shot this week? No, but it's a fresh shot. And it was a fresh shot.
I know we've been having a lot of stuff going on at Andy B's. That's mainly because it's most of our houses Andy B's.
Right.
But I am actually going to be looking into moving some stuff around. We're still working on trying to find a good night to do the. I'm starting to call it throw down in the underground, but
Right.
we want to do one night a week where we can, say, hey, we're going to put up here at this time. We're going to have a camera. So if you guys want to come out and have matches, and we'll film them, put them on the YouTube channel, that sort of thing. The only problem is with the fall leagues coming around, everybody bowls every night of the week somewhere.
Correct.
One of these houses in Tulsa has a premier high-end league that a lot of our guys are in. So it's going to be hard. And, well, with that being said, it's hard to find lanes.
Right.
During the week, it's hard to find lanes, and weekend, it's going to be hard.
It would have, like we were talking about, it would have been Wednesday here, but it looks like we're gonna maybe be having as many as 5 leagues on that day.
Jeez.
Throughout the
Wow.
whole entire day, wound up being nothing because of another center having some difficulty holding on to their leagues right now, so.
Yeah, and with GTO coming around, that takes out Saturday and Sunday, too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
At least here.
Yeah.
It'd almost be Sunday evening maybe.
Here's a good question for
Well,
both
then
of
you got
guys.
your Sport Shot League, so,
Yeah,
Right.
Sunday.
But it's,
and that's a lot of,
yeah, a lot of us are bowling it, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But that might just be a possibility though for some of the others who aren't.
yeah. Yeah, we'll figure out something. Like I said, I'm wanting to get a night of the week where we can come up and say, hey, if you want to bowl for points, no rankings are going to be on the table. So
Yep.
we'll set aside any challenges you got on the board right now, and we'll put some matches together, depending on who's there. We'll make the matches. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I do too.
The committee makes the matches, sets up who we think is going to be dynamic with each other, that sort of thing.
Well, here's a question too for you guys. I mean, I've got my own personal opinion of when you do have a challenge match. I personally like to have the challenge when it is, one, and we're on the same pair. I mean, yeah, if you want a challenge, we got a bowl during a league, okay, we'll do it. But I like it. It's like, and Tracy Stover and I were talking about that. Even Tanner and I were talking about that. We like it when we're actually able to go there and it's you and I on the lanes. We're going right then. It's not like I'm bowling on lane 23 and you're bowling on lane 31.
It's hard to worry about your league bowling and your Tubbs match too. I mean,
yeah.
You're looking at there like, okay, well, I need to do this to win the match for
Or
our team.
tournament.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
I'm doing a
yeah.
sweeper, I really would rather decline any matches doing anything else because of the fact that I joke around and stuff, and I tell people all the time, well, there's Ernie when I'm bowling sometime, and then there's the freight train when I'm bowling. Whenever I'm coming out to bowl these challenges, you're getting the freight train. I mean, it's there because I like to. It's just a different feeling to me.
Well, that's the thing with Ernie too. Watching him bowl for 25 years, but this society and double elimination tournaments, that is where he really excels. He had a Survivor tournament. I think it was in the early 2000s. He bowled. I think the best I've ever seen him bowl average-wise. He averaged 238 for I think 7 games, and but yeah, whenever it's that type of, it brings out the best in him.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I wish I could have that same mindset every time I bowl, but, Friday nights I try to have that mindset for the most part because it's, mano a mano type thing for the most part. But when it comes to something like that, it's just, can't explain it. It's just a different, it's just a different feeling.
Yeah, heads up bowling is where it's at. This team thing, it's okay. It's cool to have your
Right.
friends, bowl with your friends and everything else, but I like it when it's me and only me. It's all up to me.
Yep.
I'm not worried about somebody else. I bowl really good and then my partner doesn't, and it's like, okay, well, you can't be mad at them
No.
because everybody has bad
I'll
days.
say, yeah, no matter who you are, you're human. You're going to have bad days.
But you get frustrated and stuff like that. I like it if I mess up and I'm the reason I lose, that's on me.
Oh, and
And I'll take full responsibility for it. But
And plus, you have the pressure too. You never want to let your partner down. I mean, you just
Yeah.
don't because
Yeah.
you don't let your team down either.
yeah,
You don't want to be that weakest link. I mean, but no matter who it is and how many times you bowl, it's going to happen. I mean, it's just you don't know when, but it will happen.
oh yeah,
Well, it was like when we bowled Pittsburgh. I didn't mind, doing horrible in singles. I came through for doubles. That's the one that you never want to let people down, I think, the most.
I find it funny that most tournaments I do singles and doubles in, I'll bowl. Me and my partner will be opposite. So if I bowl good in singles, I'll bowl bad in doubles, and then they'll bowl good in doubles and bad in singles, or other way around. We never get online together.
Yep.
It's hard to 6 games.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially when you change pairs, but they don't pretty much.
It's
don't
like
do that anymore.
something kind of comical here. When Josh and I were going to have our match over at Sahoma, we were trying to pick a place and all that, and I threw out the idea, well, let's just go to Springfield. Let's go bowl Enterprise. And he's like, man, I'm all in. We'll just go to Enterprise and bowl.
Go to Lambert's.
Road
Yeah.
trip? No.
Exactly, road trip.
Yeah, we're actually looking at, hopefully this thing grows, it keeps growing. Talk to your friends, get them involved in it. If we keep growing, we're going to have to split it again.
Yes.
The team things, I think the team thing's going to help out a lot, but I got a feeling in a couple months we're going to have to change the format again.
Well, and plus clarifying team is not where you're on a team. I mean, it's just going to be, it's still individual.
Yeah,
it's just, you're in a group now.
Yeah, the only team competition you're going to do is the team versus team at the end. And
Right.
really that's going to be singles, and it's just kind of like the Ryder's Cup for golf.
Exactly.
You're a singles player, but your points go towards your team.
Right.
How many looking to be in it for September?
It's pushing 40.
Okay, so
I'm really pushing 40. I think we have like 32, 33 right now, and I've got 4 or 5 that want to join.
they're all
next
just waiting
month.
Until next month.
Yeah, they want to get their money's worth, so to speak, and wait till the end of the month or the beginning of next month to start. I will have more on that number
August flew
this
by.
week. Oh yeah, flew.
Every month seems to fly by.
Oh, and not March. I remember during that lockdown, a day seemed like a year. So
See, it was the same for me, but then my day job, we didn't shut down, and
Right.
we didn't.
Yeah, I was still
Our-
working every day too.
Our
so-
customers didn't even
that's true.
lose pace, so I mean, it was kind of nice not having a second job for a little while.
Well, yeah,
That
not
was
bad, yeah.
that was pretty nice, but I got to go home, and I didn't know what to do with myself when I got home because I'm not used to being at home. So
Yeah, he doesn't sleep.
now I get 4 or 5 hours, whenever I get my brain to shut off.
Cat nap.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, another thing too with this tournament. Hopefully, we need a good turnout for this tournament. This tournament's basically going to decide what we're doing later on down the road, tournament-wise. I've decided to put up my own money for first in this one. I'm not going to do that again.
I'm shocked.
If this one
Yeah.
doesn't turn out, it's not happening again. So, we need as many people as we can that want to bowl in it, because in the future, if it does turn out good and we start having these ultimate challenges, I want to look at doing maybe 3 or 4 a year, every couple of months, and I want to do them in different houses.
Right.
I still got to talk with people and figure out if that's possible, but I'd love to have one every
At least
4
a
months.
quarter. Yeah, once a quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just change houses and leave the format the same, but change houses, and then maybe even do some smaller tournaments each month
Mm-hmm.
with the members of our club only. Plastic ball tournament's been thrown around a lot.
I'm in.
Yeah, just give it to him.
I even talked with the head guys at Andy B's about doing a black light tournament where
Oh,
the black
okay.
lights
Global?
not global.
Black lights.
So the strobe lights and everything will be off. It'll just be the black lights,
Okay.
which because a lot of people don't like bowling in glow bowl. I personally, it doesn't bother me because I look at the foul line. I don't look down the lane. So
We've had challenges though in global. I know
Yeah.
AJ and Tanner I think did,
yeah.
or was it Russ?
No, it was me and AJ first.
Okay.
So halfway through our match, they switched to go to global, and I look at him. I was like, "You want to keep going?" He's like, oh, "Why not? We already started, so we might as well keep going." And then, of course, Tanner challenged him right after that, and he's like, "Might as well. I've already done it once." So that was pretty nerve-wracking, more than exciting, because you're already nervous. Bowling AJ's not fun.
No.
So,
no.
I know you can contest to that, Ernie.
Yeah, you better be ready to strap it on because it's gonna be a challenge.
Yeah, just look through the YouTube page and then the Facebook page on some of the matches those two have had. I mean, yeah, how many times is it? 2 or 3?
We've had 2 matches. Yeah.
And both of them
another
come down
one.
to the wire in the third
Yep.
game. Like,
Well, the commissioner's one, I got him for twice.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
And then when he
okay,
was going after my number 3 tag, we did go to 3 games.
okay.
yeah, he was down. I think 30. Ernie was in the third game that first time.
Yep.
30, 40 pins and came back. So
It was an exciting match.
yeah, it was.
It was all about I had to strike.
There was no ifs, ands, or
Spares
buts.
weren't going to cut it because I was going to lose.
I love this format because you can have exciting matches like
Oh,
that. And
yeah.
it gets your blood pumping for bowling. There's not that much going on out there that's different, that's new, that's pushing the game of bowling to something new, new heights.
Right.
And that's why I like this format as much as I do. And I can pretty much say that for everybody in the club right now.
Mhm.
A lot of these guys are doing it just because they like the format.
Well, I mean, it's like Justin Barrett. He made a good comment to me here a while back. If he could have this, and that was quote unquote a sanctioned deal and all that kind of stuff, he wouldn't even bowl the leagues anymore. And you can see because he's always trying to challenge, but he loves this format. And most people that we talk to that are doing it love the format. They love what this whole thing's about.
I wouldn't mind turning it into a league. So if I did a league with this, what I would do is I would want to do a travel league. First off,
Right.
and what I would do is everybody would show up that day, or well, no, it would probably be before that. But we'd have the committee, and we would make the matches. So there wouldn't be I challenge this guy, I challenge that guy.
Right.
You can trash talk on the Facebook page, that gets our attention. We're going to put you in a match together, but then we're going to do rankings based off of your record instead of challenging for different spots. Make it more like a promotion
Right.
than a club. I think that would be exciting.
Oh, I think it would be too. Because I mean, let's face it. You want to have. I would hope that everybody's doing this wants that number one tag. They want the number one belt. They want
yeah.
the number one tag.
Those belts took off. I did not expect them to. I thought it was a joke. It started out as being a joke. Hey, you ought to get some title belts like wrestling. And I'm like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Just something different. And when I had them ordered and I got them in, I looked at them. I was like, oh, this is going to be crazy. So yeah, it took off a lot better than I thought it was going
And
to.
they're definitely quality too. I
Oh,
mean, you
yeah.
can definitely
Oh,
tell
yeah.
the way they're made.
Yeah.
Like I said, mine sits right on top of the couch. Every day when I go home, it's sitting right there and it's all displayed out there.
I bought one for me that says Tulsa Underground Commissioner, and it's on the shelf.
Okay.
And nice and shiny on the shelf, no fingerprints, no nothing. I don't let anybody touch it. Actually, mine's going to be turned into the Blue Champ belt. I got a new plate coming in to replace it. So,
Okay.
But I'll still have my plate hanging on the wall or something. One other bit of I guess an announcement I want to make before we end this. You guys got to remember that you need to pay for your bowling. I've had several houses have come to me and said, hey, you guys are walking out. Your guys are walking out and not paying for their bowling. The due monies you guys pay is for the prize fund. It is not for your bowling. You still have to pay for your bowling, plain and simple. So with that being said, we might even look at doing fines this next month for the people that's causing problems, or if you can't, you have to void out a challenge. Well, we're gonna do a fine. Or if you walk out and don't pay for your bowling and I hear about it, it's gonna be a fine.
Yeah.
Or if you get an attitude with somebody, or if you're causing problems, basically, we want to try to knock down that as much as possible.
Well, it just looks bad on the whole club as a whole.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Yeah, we're still in the building process. We're still trying to build this up and get it perfected. So any kind of negative publicity is bad for the club right now, especially since we're still trying to grow this, and it's not everybody knows about it.
And no, but when you see, like when you go to different places and they see like what's going on, and for example, this past week at Sahoma, there ended up being close to 11 people that end up watching us from the back, just seeing what was going on.
Well, I had a match with Clint Odell and Sheridan at Sheridan, and we've actually gained members from that match. I had a guy come up to me and specifically say, hey, I watched you guys bowl. I want to know what it is, and I want in, basically.
Yeah.
So it definitely shows.
What, as far as the other houses, and like Sheridan, is it the camera that set it off, or were you filming?
Well,
or
we weren't filming our match.
They just noticed something.
We did it right after their league was over, and so some of them were still sticking around, and they wondering why we were bowling each other. And I guess someone told them. We had a few other members in the house at the time. Noah and Chad Leonard was there. So
Just kind of came up and saw it.
yeah.
Okay.
That'd be cool if we could get some like banners or something we could put up while they're having matches. Like, what is that?
Is it full of ideas?
Dude,
Jake.
my brain is full and about to explode. Like, it's crazy.
Like I said, even what you said about the polos, you could actually have the polos where it's almost like the PBA thing, where your name's on the back of the shirt,
Yeah.
Tubbs is on the front,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Sure, you talked to Foster already.
Yeah, I need to look. I was looking at jerseys too.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool to have like a black jersey with the blue logo,
Yeah.
or a blue jersey with the black logo, the
Shout-
names on the back.
Shout out to Mike Foster. He's done some excellent work for us with through Bolify with our youth shirts for the youth leagues on our Tuesday. So
Yeah.
he and Extreme Bowling Supply shirts, so, yeah,
Yeah, I need to get with him on that.
yeah, he's, does
Once,
excellent.
once I find a place to do T-shirts and everything, just so everybody knows, I will be doing like an orders. Like hey, I'm taking orders for the next 2 weeks. Tell me what size you need, that kind of thing, and I'll get them ordered. I've only looked at one place so far, and they have a minimum.
Steve Hennessy, talk to him as well.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Cameron mentioned that. His grandpa's got the hookup, so I need to talk to him too,
Yeah.
and see if he can get me a good deal on some shirts. I'm trying to get some merchandise. The best way to grow is to have that logo out there, basically. Right now, the only thing we have is tags, and not everybody has a tag.
Yep, it's all about marketing.
Yeah. Another thing too, if you guys want an M tag, let me know. Trying to get a hold of my tag guy to get some more ordered, but it's a slow process. It's a side gig for him, so I'm still trying to get a hold of him, and it's a pain in the neck. But
There may be a local screen printer that we can have those done too.
yeah, I need to look into that. I got so much going on. I'm trying to, it's a slow process, basically. Once we get the team format set up and everything else, I'll be able to have more time to work on it and get the tournament over with. I'll have more time to work on getting us some merchandise. But I do want to get us some merchandise, that way we can display our club,
Yes.
especially at tournaments and leagues and stuff like that, and get some more people in here. Anything else you want to add, Chuck? Any other questions for Mr. Ernie here?
I think I'm good.
Ernie, any final comments before we wrap this up?
Just that appreciate the invite here to do this, and the thought about this whole club that you got it going. I appreciate that a lot, because it is fun. I like the challenging portion of it, and let's just keep growing it. Everybody, be competitive, but also be sportsmanship and have fun while you're doing it, and strive to just be the best. I mean, that's what it's all about. Try to get that number one, hold on to it, because let's face it, I don't care who you are, anybody can be beat on any given day.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I want to thank everybody that's in the clubs now, and everybody that's joining this next month. This would not be possible without the bowlers. This was just a small idea for me, and you guys have taken it and grown, and I appreciate that. And I just want to continue keeping it going, and
Definitely.
see how far we can take it. I'm pretty excited about it. Please remember, tournament August 29th, Saturday.
I believe check-ins at noon.
Check-ins at noon. Start times at 1. We're trying to get out of here before 5 or 6, but I don't know how long it's going to take for the brackets and everything.
Right.
Yeah, winner take all, 1K. That's pretty good payout, I would think.
Mhm.
So, I'd like to thank everybody for viewing this video and letting us keep going with it. And I hope you guys have a good afternoon and stay safe this week, and good bowling.